Is civil rights important? Of course. Look at the progression we have had since the early 20th century. Beginning with women's suffrage, the right to vote in 1920, President Wilson urged both the House and the Senate in 1918 and 1919 to vote in favor of women's rights to vote. This was not the popular opinion of the day, and most people, including women, were against women's suffrage. 1954, Brown versus Topeka Board of Education, desegregation in public education. Landmark U.S. Supreme Court decision which made segregated schools in the United States unlawful. Another example of the court stepping in to defend the rights of the minority in spite of popular opinion. Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. After the death of John F. Kennedy, President Lyndon B. Johnson pushed for the civil rights for African Americans. This time, the legislator steps in to affirm and promote the rights of a minority group. The popular opinion of the South did not agree with Johnson's actions. Title IX Education Amendments, 1972. The United States legislature passed this anti-sex discrimination law to ensure that women had the same equal access in education and sports as their male counterparts. The passage of Title IX ruffled the feathers of the male establishment and to this day continues to be a challenge in schools districts to equal the playing field for women in sports. The Yes campaign on Prop 8 believes that laws passed through popular opinion, through popular vote. This is not true. The above examples of the United States legislature or judiciary passing laws which protect the rights of minorities. For the first time in California history, we have Proposition 8 on the ballot, which would effectively eliminate the rights of a protected class of people based on sexual orientation. Now we come on the highlight of the controversy, the big winner in several debates over Proposition 8. Children in schools. I have a lot to say on this, but I will start with fact, then get into research and conclude this section with personal opinion. The Yes Vote campaign wants you to believe that students as young as kindergarten will be required to learn about gay marriage as a result of legalized same-sex marriages. Same-sex marriages are already being legalized in the state of California, and they're not teaching it in schools. The state of California does not have laws, education codes, or standards which mandate the school districts to be required to teach same-sex marriage to students. California only has 2 laws which prohibit the harassment discrimination of LGBT youth. That is AB 537 and SB 777. Legalized same-sex marriage in itself does not mandate to teach about same-sex marriage to students. The Yes Vote campaign alleges that children who were raised by their biological opposite-gendered man and a woman parents are healthier and better adjusted socially. This may sound ideal, but no research supports this. Extensive research actually shows that children of same-sex homes are just as well adjusted as male-female homes, and in some cases better. Children also thrive in non-traditional households, such as single-parent, extended family, grandparents, foster care, and adoption. 50% of heterosexual marriages end in divorce. Maybe divorce is the culprit. The argument of good parenting should rely on the skills of the parent rather than the gender of the parent. Well, like any college student, I did my own research, and here's the things I found. The great state of Massachusetts did in fact have a 2nd grade teacher at Joseph S. Brooke Elementary School read a book called King and King to her class. But the intention was to teach diversity, which is important at any age level, because teaching diversity reduces crime in schools from hate and discrimination. And according to the superintendent, we couldn't run a public school system if every parent who feels some topic is objectionable to them for moral or religious reasons decides that their child should be removed. He said Lexington is committed to teaching children about the world they live in, and in Massachusetts, same-sex marriage is legal. Also, I found a lesbian teacher in California took her kids to a field trip. It's her wedding. How dare her? Well, this might concern a lot of you But this may concern a lot of you, but do you want to know a simple fact? Parents must sign a permission slip for all field trips. Creative Arts Charter School is a private school where the parents support it and suggested the idea. In fact, I shall back this by stating the source. October 11, 2008, A1 of the San Francisco Chronicle states, a parent came up with the idea for the field trip, a surprise for the teacher on her wedding day. Do not blame the teacher, who was surprised by the parents of her students, who supported her for her work as a functional member of San Francisco society. Now we are in California. Let's discuss California Education Code, Section 51933. Section 7 states, instructions and materials shall teach respect for marriage and committed relationships. Those last three words, the Yes campaign completely omits from their commercial with a 3-period ellipses. I wonder why. To omit the entire truth, which changed the meaning and means that they are giving people a partial truth to the undecided public. My opinions are children should learn diversity to prevent bullies, misconceptions from past generations, and to keep our progress. Prop 8 is bad for California because it turns back progress. California will not require young students to learn about same-sex marriages. They don't even teach marriage in schools. Let me repeat that. They do not even teach marriage in schools. California schools are not and will not be required to teach same-sex marriage in their curriculum. They do teach sex education, which the parent can opt them out of. Do not believe all the lies you have been told on this issue. As per LA Times, California Teachers Association donated $1 million to oppose Proposition 8. Who else opposes Proposition 8? California Federation of Teachers, Planned Parenthood, Action Fund, National American Social Workers, American Medical Student Association, American Civil Liberties Union, California Faith for Equality, Human Rights Campaign, National Black Justice Coalition, Japanese American Citizens League, League of Women Voters of California, Log Cabin Republicans, California Democratic Party, Union Farm Workers, National Council of Jewish Women, Progressive Jewish Alliance, Interfaith Clergy Coalition, and many other minority groups, and of course functional members of society called gays and lesbians and their families and friends.